The metaverse is on the come up in the fashion industry, and the rise of virtual fashion is here. Hi everyone, I'm Gia and welcome to a new installment here on my channel. Today we're going to go over some fashion analysis type vibe, where pretty much I'm going to pick some hot topics that I personally like in fashion, or just maybe some hot topics that you guys are interested in, and I will do a little bit of research so that I can provide to you a short synopsis on what that topic is about. So today our very first topic will be meta fashion and what is the appeal. What is it? What does it mean? Where is it coming from? Who's talking about it and who cares? The metaverse is on the come up in the fashion industry, and the rise of virtual fashion is here. As someone who grew up obsessed with virtual avatar websites like Me's, Girls Go Games, IMVU, dress up games have always had this sense of appeal to me. I remember begging my parents to buy me these game cards from Best Buy so that I could customize my avatar in the coolest way possible. So when it came to self-image and self-expression, I noticed very early on, even in video games, your presentation, just how you looked, was definitely a reflection of just your ability to pay or even hack for more coins, just to experiment with different looks and have more options. My favorite attribute of all of these video games, and even just in video games in general growing up, has always been customization. Even if none of these things were real, my avatar served as this sort of representation of what I would love to do, what I would love to design if I had the means of doing so. My avatar was basically just this extension of my creativity, as it allowed me to virtually create any look from scratch. These auras that are not real, like pixie characters that follow you around, I just had complete creative control over just this human being. It's why people like Sims. I don't know if you guys know that anime like Baka and Test, a little avatar based on their grades, but you know, they have a little mini version of them. I love those types of shows, those little concepts. What would a little version of me be like? You know, you can add all these extra extensions that are just super cool, things that you can't do in real life. So that's why the rise of meta fashion is so fascinating. The idea that so many people interact with fashion virtually anyway, and especially when it comes to high-end couture and luxury fashion that's already so restricted from the public. You have these online Pinterest mood boards and Twitter threads. They all serve as these digital means of interacting with fashion. The fashion industry needs a way to capitalize. While all this sounds wonderful, does the rise of the metaverse necessarily mean that fashion is becoming more accessible? What does that mean here? This video will mostly be focused on virtual fashion from the perspective of how gaming has influenced virtual fashion, also virtual fashion styling. If you were looking on to this video, it's for me to talk about NFTs. I cannot help you there because I'm still struggling to understand what an NFT is, but if I get to it, I will gladly link an article down below explaining a little bit more about that. All the articles and the work cited, my sources, in the description box. Forgive me for reading off of my notes if that bothers you, but I did write out everything that I wanted to say today, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's get into it. First and foremost, fashion and gaming. The dematerialization of fashion, all of which is derived from inspiration of video games, anime and cartoons, and even social media, has truly transformed the fashion game. And I'm not even gonna get into cosplay yet. Gaming is considered the world's leading form of entertainment. The gaming market estimates approximately $159 billion, with more than a third of the world identifying as avid gamers, 45% of that being women. The fashion industry cannot just ignore this hype. I'm sure you all have noticed how brands have collaborated with various gaming platforms to reach a wider audience. From virtual catwalks to metahumans, digital clothing, digital supermodels, and the expansion of virtual worlds, virtual fashion allows for the expression of multiple selves, where brands can recreate the experiences that define fashion and culture. So what is the goal of virtual fashion? Based on my research, I have come up with 3, maybe 4-ish goals. One is capitalize on the gaming audience by creating new opportunities for monetization. 2 is increasing audience engagement, and 3 is more personalized shopping experiences. So the first one and the second one are kind of related. It's just kind of like increasing the scope of your audience. If you're only reaching the niche fashion girlies, how can you reach the gamer people? It also creates new opportunities for monetization, because when you're making these collaborations, you know, like both people are getting something out of it. And then more personalized shopping experiences more goes towards virtual fashion. Since the pandemic, there are less like in-person shopping experiences taking place, and a lot of people are ordering things online. Having more personalized shopping experiences, virtual stylists and stuff like that is really on the rise right now. What is a digital avatar, and why is it so appealing for brands? An avatar is defined as a visible manifestation of an abstract concept, a visual representation of the avatar of a user performing a certain action. In the initial stages of development, virtual styling allows for users to make designs quicker, and it increases the capability of visualizing the style, length, sizing, fit, and total drape of the clothing in real time without requiring a physical sample. The body measurements can be recorded, and the avatars can be animated to visualize different positions for fitting purposes. Virtual runways have given artists complete control over the body movement, positioning, angles, light, and backgrounds through like 3D animation. Speaking of 3D animation, virtual fashion Balenciaga's Afterworld, The Age of Tomorrow. This game came out after a series of collaboration between fashion and gaming brands. Players are set in the post-apocalyptic year. I'm so sorry. This game came after a series of collaboration between fashion and gaming brands. Players are set in the post-apocalyptic year of 2031 and are able to choose between a range of characters before exploring different time zones, models, and pieces featured in the three-dimensional virtual playground. The innovative approach to showcase the company's fall 2021 collection has been described by Vogue Runway as a quantum leap for fashion. The immersive and interactive experience to online commerce is proving to be more than just a marketing scheme. Video games are essentially redefining the concept of design, luxury, and delivery of fashion. So why do we connect so fondly to something that doesn't exist? Well, you're asking the wrong person. As someone who's been reading fan fiction for years, based on my research in this particular context, I have come down to 3 things. 1, as a form of expression, as a way to leave behind a creative legacy as a proof of our multifaceted existence. I mean, I fully agree with that. I feel like, I mean, the reason we create art is kind of just like this documentation of our existence and our feelings and everything like that, and fashion is just the same thing. I love that fashion can be deconstructed and used for different things, and just in all ways, it's just this idea. It's just like rooms are ideas, clothes are ideas. Number 2, your avatar is a reflection of your personality. So digital human avatars provide this reset of identity. This is probably one of the coolest things about it, because having the chance to kind of like start from scratch and just like make this perfect human into whatever you want to be, and just have it do whatever you want it to do, and dress the way that you want it to dress, and just like expressing that. It doesn't even have to look like a real human being. I feel like the way that people customize their avatar is just an expression of how they feel. Even if you customize it the way that you look or the way someone else looks, it's just your perception of things. Regardless of the way it comes down is the way you perceive things. And number 3, the lines between digital and the physical world are blurring, as we can see from social media. I feel like this one is pretty obvious. I feel like this conversation happens a lot. In terms of virtual fashion, I cannot remember the brand right now, so if I can figure it out, I'll put it on the screen. I have seen so many Instagram advertisements of people like posing, and then there's just like this fake clothes that's on them, like it's not real, it's like a filter. Or I've seen like those clothes that are kind of like walking on their own. It'll be like the clothes like walking, but there's no person, like there's no limbs, there's no body, it's just the clothes. I think those advertisements are really creative, they're really interesting, and they definitely catch my eye. And the clothes, when they're cute, I'm like, you know, this is different. I wonder, I just really want to see how far it goes. My final thoughts, my personal take, I feel like the pandemic has led to a decline in like real life shopping experiences and an overall rise in virtual fashion and like online fashion shopping. And while the start of the metaverse is still like a fairly new idea, and I feel like everyone's still getting their toes wet, I firmly believe that this is going to be such a game changer for the fashion world, online and in real life. Many brands are trying to get a hold of this e-commerce community, and the glory is just like up for grabs. And I just cannot wait to see what comes from this. I like the inspiration behind it. Hope to see some efforts to open doors for making fashion more accessible, because we do not need to keep seeing the same skinny white passing. If we had plus size bodies, if we had more natural looking bodies, if we had different skin tones, different colors, like everyone, just normal people. I don't even know why I have to state like different this, different that. If we just have real people being expressed in fashion, do you know how creative you can get with silhouettes, how creative you can get with storytelling on this runway? There's so many things you can bring out, and I just want to see more of it. I just feel like the virtual world gives you more room to kind of play with things that aren't real, and I really hope that they're not like being exclusive in the sense of like still not being inclusive to like other bodies, other sizes, diversity. You guys know the spiel. So that's my final take on it. I feel like that's just me. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. I will definitely film more. Personally, the reason I started this video is because, or this series was because I wanted to keep those neurosynapses of like my researching and reasoning skills active, you know, strong. I'm still gonna do vlogs. I don't think anybody has a problem with the vlogs, but just so you guys know, more of these types of videos are coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.